Now the election bacchanal die away. In short, this is what I have to say. Let us forget fights and grudges and concentrate. Come, let us sit and try to relate. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come, let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build a nation together. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Let us build a nation together. I want to welcome you wherever you are to this very important segment in the program where I will lay a solid foundation for meaningful engagement. I want to encourage those on Facebook to please share the live. Share the live so your friends, your colleagues will get the opportunity to be a part of the conversation. And also on YouTube, Vision Information Services, that YouTube channel, share it so more and more people can get the opportunity to be a part of the audience. And remember, on Facebook, you need to like and follow the page. Follow the page. Click follow, and you will become a follower of Grenada Transformation Agenda. Grenada Transformation Agenda. So you can tell people about it. Because there are a lot of people who still meet me and say, well, how I'm not seeing you? How I'm not hearing you on Facebook? Yes, we have thousands of people who listen to the program on radio. That we know. We have hundreds of people who listen to the program on YouTube. But on Facebook, we are still working on getting back that 18,000 or so followers. Because remember, it was Vision Information Services. We no longer have that page. So we are on Grenada Transformation Agenda, that Facebook page. So you have to like, you have to follow the page so you can get a notification once I am on or if I post anything. That's important. I want to start off in a real way this morning to feature our beloved Prime Minister as he spoke. Well, he was interviewed. Firstly, he was interviewed by Calistro Faria, right? And it was a really good interview. But I want to feature two aspects of that interview where he actually spoke on the issue of Karikou. Because there's always this misinformation, always this disinformation out there regarding Karikou and two or three workers. And he also addressed the issue of healthcare, the shortage, and so on. And I thought it was really good that he did that. So I want to feature it this morning so you can hear for yourself what he had to say. Because we are in this age of hearsay, them say, she say. But when you hear it from the source himself, it should cause you to be more educated on the issue or issues. So I want to play that for you this morning. Two pieces. One dealing with Karikou, with the workers, because it's alleged that two or three workers were sent home. That's the allegation. but we are not seeing them bringing the issue to the fore, where if you have a problem, you have some channels that you can go to get it resolved. But we're not seeing that happening in the way the misinformation is out there. But the NNP, they've always done that. They will throw things out there with the hope that it will stick. But I am happy that our Prime Minister, our beloved Prime Minister, is confident enough to handle all of these issues and answer the questions and speak to it, unlike his predecessor, who used to dodge and deviate and die from all kinds of, questions. We are not into that. We're about answering the questions and charting the way forward.
But the good vibes that you sort of mentioned earlier is a different story from what I'm hearing from the Public Workers Union. They talk about insecurity among workers, that they don't feel comfortable, that their positions are under threat.
Well, when you say the Public Workers Union, who are you talking about? It can't be the workers, and if it's the executive of the management, then you could invite them to sit down with me and I could challenge them toe to toe, pound for pound on any of those issues. I'm satisfied that if those stories are being circulated out there, they are false, and it's a narrative that frankly somebody must be peddling for their own purpose. So, I mean, let them produce the evidence of that. Let's be clear. We inherited a situation where we have hundreds of workers who are often working for anywhere between $800 and $1,400. In some cases, for anywhere between 1, 2 to 17 years. So my view would be, where was the Public Workers Union then, in terms of addressing some of those issues? Who raised the issue of regularization? Who raised the issue of one public service? It was me, at probably one of my very first interviews, that said there are two public workers, two public sectors, and we are committed to doing it. Who paid the pensions? This government. Who paid the doc salaries? This government. Who's offered 4 and 5% increases in salaries? This government. Who said to the police, we will work to regularize the situation with the pay and grade? Who, unsolicited, paid the nurses $500 per month for the last 6 months and will continue to do so? This government. So whoever it is peddling that, let them bring the evidence of the so-called insecurity and the discomfort. It doesn't exist. So, I mean, people are entitled to their opinions, but
from where you sit, Prime Minister, you may say it doesn't exist, but this is the union represents the workers. They go to them with their grievances, and they are saying, and have said to me, that there are workers who feel that they are being marginalized and targeted because of the politics. That there's a heavy situation here where people who
as you said,
people who supported the NNP feel like they're
really
one step away from being kicked out the door.
Really, I think, as I said, that's falsehoods. And to be honest, if people are alleging that, as I said, let them bring the evidence. If you're saying you're being marginalized, if you're saying you're being kicked out the door, bring the evidence and we'll address it. I have not seen any evidence of that. Frankly, to the contrary, what I've been hearing from people is we are too accommodating, that we're not throwing people out, that we're not kicking people out, etc. And clearly, I think you know where I stand on those issues. I've said it repeatedly. You're not going to build Grenada by engaging in this kind of vicious cycle of reprisals. No NNPI.
You were very silent on Carriacou, though.
What on Carriacou? As the issue of
the workers that
yeah, but right. So let's be clear. How many workers were allegedly fired in Carriacou? How many? You have to remember, you have employer-employee situations. If there are disputes between a or one or two workers and an employer, and if the dispute is being grieved in a normal manner, that doesn't mean that hundreds of workers, or even tens of workers, or even 10 workers are impacted. And oftentimes people take an isolated case where there may be some disgruntlement, or let's take it worst case scenario. Assuming the actions in Carriacou were wrong, there's redress, and there's a dispute mechanism. If the dispute mechanism resolves that the government was wrong in whatever action it took in relation to the particular employee, and I don't know, from what I understand, it is maybe 2 or 3 people, then this government will abide by the process. But let us not fool ourselves into thinking every time an employee is disciplined or dismissed, that the employer is in the wrong. It could be the employee as well. So I think that is that's why I keep saying bring the evidence. If there's an allegation of widespread victimization and all of that, then clearly the evidence would have been there, right? If there was such an allegation amongst teachers, I don't think we would have had a union agreement signed in record time. If there was a case amongst the police, I don't think we would have had a union agreement signed in record time. The same goes for the prisons. Let's deal with the Public Workers Union. I was just reading a newspaper article here where the workers are calling on the union executive to sign the deal. There are petitions going around by workers calling on their union leadership to sign. What is the reason being advocated for not signing? I haven't heard one plausible explanation for not signing. So I can't speak to what's in people's mind. I can only speak to what the facts say. And I certainly can tell you from where I sit, there has been no such discomfort or displeasure or feeling of insecurity. To the contrary, I think workers certainly feel more secure and know that they have a government that is fighting for them. Why would we engage in pension reform? Why would we say we want all workers to get the opportunity to get a pension if we were not interested in the well-being of workers? The easy answer...
Well, it certainly is a master political move.
No, it's not a political move.
I'm not suggesting that that's what motivated you, but I'm saying that it is.
No, but we have to understand, because this is stuff you see every day. I just visited someone who regrettably lost their husband. And they both retired. And you know what that person said to me? If it had not been for the pension, we would not have been able to afford the medical care. That's reality. That is what we're dealing with, basic bread and butter issues. So I'm saying I believe unions are about that as well. And so I certainly will use the opportunity to call on the Public Workers Union leadership to do what the other leaders of the union movement have done in signing the agreement, so that we can put this matter to bed, so that we could address some of the more challenging issues, like how we deal with the pension reform, like how we deal with the regularization, because that is where, in my mind, the energy needs to be put in, so that we could fulfill the mandate collectively of improving the workers' security, so that they feel comfortable that going forward they have a partner that they can continue to rely on. And I hope the union's leadership in particular will be part of that process.
All right, so you heard that there. I thought I should bring that to you because, you see, you have folks in the NNP who will peddle a lot of lies, a lot of misinformation, propaganda to cause people to believe all kinds of things with no facts. And that is why our beloved Prime Minister was able to say, if you're aggrieved, if you believe we have done something wrong, then bring the evidence and let the people who are aggrieved go through the channels that are in place for grievances to be resolved. And that is very smart of the government. They're saying, look, we have not done anything wrong here. This is all misinformation, propaganda put out there by the NNP with the hope that people will start believing that it's true. All right? So you have some journalists or reporters who'd gravitate towards those hearsay, them say, and she say, and then repeat those things. Where are the evidence? We want the evidence to be on the table, because from day one, that was a propaganda put out there by the NNP that workers are being sent home and there is this mass firing and so on. And that was false, totally false. But our Prime Minister, our beloved Prime Minister, was able to, answer this with ease and respond with humility to say, okay, if you say we fire workers, let them come forward. Let them come forward. And if you believe that we were wrong, then present the evidence, and there is channels in place to resolve all of this. But don't go out there on a radio, on TV, or social media and spread all this misinformation without the evidence. without the facts. And then you say, well, I hearing that or hearing this. Here say, them say, she say. It doesn't work that way. So really happy you addressed that, because that was outstanding, propaganda that the NNP always, talking about or pushing every time they speak. And even the union man got tied up or tied down with this misinformation. And the union lady, don't forget that. They actually spoke about that. And then when asked, where's the facts? Because you see, you have workers who are on contract or who came into the system because of party politics. They're not competent enough to do the work, but they were brought in. And if the NNP loved them so much, if the NNP believed that they could do the work so much, why didn't the NNP make them permanent? Give them security of tenure. So the NDC cannot come and, do anything whatsoever. You understand the point? Because if you're a public servant appointed by the Public Service Commission, then you cannot just be removed like this or sent home. No, because you're a permanent employee of the government of Grenada. But if you are on a contract and the contract says that the government can send you home with 1 month notice, or you could give the government 1 month notice, then you're not secured. And many of these people came into the service as political appointees. They supported the NNP and they got obliged when the NNP got into power to do some work. Right? It's simple, but I'm really happy that he addressed that. Let me now feature another aspect of that interview where he addressed the healthcare situation, the whole allegation of shortage and so on. Let me address that.
Why do we have shortages at the hospital?
Well, I think my answer to that would be from time to time, because you're procuring supplies, there will be instances where the government or the hospital doesn't have the supplies in sufficient quantities. I think, as was explained in Parliament, contrary to oftentimes the situation that's painted, we inherited significant situations where people were not paid by the former administration. And so we've had to obviously enter into the necessary arrangements for them to pay them so that they can supply. But outside of those sort of kinks, generally, no. There are no shortages to the extent that the situation is not manageable or that we will not be able to take action to correct it. I think the bigger challenge we face in healthcare in general is obviously what has been almost for decades, a lack of leadership, a lack of planning, and a lack of ensuring that there's a systematic approach to our healthcare. So that is the challenge that we face, and that is the challenge we have to deal with. So we could start again, we have sort of started at the outset, which is the HR issues, right? Healthcare professionals are just as disaffected as the rest of the public servants, and we've had to address that, from working conditions to inadequate salaries, and oftentimes to being in a very stressful environment, where oftentimes, regrettably, sometimes the members of the public themselves are not always patient with them. And so that sort of sometimes breeds a toxic mix. So what we sought to do, obviously, from the get-go is to say to our healthcare workers, we appreciate you. We recognize that without you, there is no healthcare service, and we need to address that. That is why we, in the budget, again, unprompted, are recognizing the sort of low salaries that nurses in particular work for, recognizing the bleeding that is taking place with so many nurses leaving for perceived greener pastures. We offered the special incentive to pay each nurse, regardless of the type of nurse, $500 extra per month. That is something that's unheard of. It wasn't a one-off, 1 month token. It was a significant increase by $6,000 per annum in their income. The second issue that we recognize that we need to address is that there's still significant shortages. And so we've been in discussions with SGU as to how we address the nursing shortage, bearing in mind that they're offering a nursing degree, bearing in mind that our nursing school was closed by the former administration. So we've had the discussions, and we are having more of those discussions as to what would be the preferred option, whether we do our own nursing school or whether we partner with SGU to significantly beef up the numbers of our citizens who go to SGU to acquire the nursing degree, and to ensure that the practical, clinical experiences are made available so that we can solve this situation.
But Prime Minister, on the issue of a nursing school here, I've been told by senior nurses that the program that SGU offers, strangely, does not compare to the nursing school, and that what the government really needs to do is to bring the nursing school back, because it provides in a better way what we require for our healthcare system. Just putting that out there.
Right, so that's one school of thought, and I certainly think there's some forceful arguments to it, and I think particularly as it relates to the clinical experience that our nurses obtained in the nursing school compared to the more perhaps theoretical approach, because it's more degree driven at SGU. But that's not the only issue that we need to factor in. At the end of the day, you know, even if we had our own nursing school, you still run the risk that significant numbers of our nurses who are trained will leave, right? So you still have to factor in quantity. How much do you need to train so that even if people leave, you have sufficient nurses available here to meet our demands? And that still would mean you need to address how you pay them, for example, the working conditions. And that feeds into a bigger situation. So it is not going to be something that is going to be improved overnight.
So are we reviewing and revising how much the pay scale for nurses? No, are we looking to increase that?
So let me put it this way. If we didn't have budgetary constraints, we could, not just nurses, all professionals, we can talk about the doctors. Doctors' salaries in the public service is woefully inadequate. That's the truth. Being a doctor is a dead-end job if you're a public service doctor, right? And you work long hours, you work in very stressful situations. That's the reality. No government in, frankly, the last 30 years have even, in my view, made an attempt to even address it, much less fix it. That is something we have to talk about. But in order to change those things, there has to be a bigger structural, strategic shift in healthcare. And that is, we can't view healthcare from a cost basis only. So the current model is, we allocate $10 in the budget for healthcare, and we spend that, regardless of whether or not the $10 is adequate to meet our needs or not. And we are not recovering any revenue. Grenadians spend millions of dollars every year outside of Grenada because of the inadequate healthcare. We need to move to a revenue-based healthcare system where we can get that revenue to remain in Grenada. The only way that is going to happen is that we have to actually, from a government perspective and from a private sector perspective, invest in the healthcare. And we feel the starting point for that is, in fact, the construction of a new hospital, because we would then want to take a more revenue-based model. And that's why we talk about the teaching hospital. That's why we talk about medical tourism, because we feel those two options gives us the opportunity to get a revenue that will then allow us to subsidize our public healthcare system and allow our public to have access to international first-class healthcare, and then also to ensure that other private sector persons get involved in the healthcare sector. And that is crucial, right? Almost every week, I meet a Grenadian who's either begging or asking for some additional assistance to go to Trinidad for medical care, to go to Barbados for medical care, to go to the US for medical care, in some instances at exorbitant prices. So if we can keep some of that in Grenada, we will then be able to collect that revenue at probably significantly cheaper prices, and then we'll be able to meet some of the challenges we have with healthcare. National health insurance is also a similar issue. It has to be more revenue-based. You know, the biggest single cause of bankruptcy, personal bankruptcy, is healthcare. You could be earning a decent salary, you may have some savings, you may have a little property. If you're diagnosed with some terminal illness that requires, let's say, cancer, significant treatment, and you need to travel overseas for that, there is almost no Grenadian whose financial situation will not deteriorate almost overnight if he has to fund something like that. But if you have insurance, at least you stand a chance of mitigating that risk, which is why we need to have the national health insurance. Not so much for the cost of going to a dentist to clean your teeth, but really the major medical issues that sometimes, no matter how healthy you are, no matter how much you try, you may find yourself in a motor vehicle accident, a boating accident, etc. So we feel that by switching the model and the focus, which has to be strategic, it will take some time. There is no question. We're not going to fix our healthcare system overnight. But you have to have the strategic vision. You have to have the buy-in for the vision. We also have to look at the legal framework within which the healthcare operates. What you have is a Ministry of Health, and then you have hospitals and medical stations. And the Ministry of Health sits here at the ministerial complex. And let's face it, it's run by public servants, by bureaucrats, by technocrats. And then you have the doctors. and you have the nurses and the in a sense the more technically driven expertise and so on. And sometimes there's significant mismatch. Sometimes there's significant gridlock between the two. So we have to look at, for example, whether we need to statutarize the hospital, the health centers, and have a separate body running that, separate and distinct from the Ministry of Health. Those are things we need to put on the table and discuss to see whether that would make better sense for us, especially as we look to modernizing our healthcare system. But crucially as well, we are responsible for our health. And one of the major issues here is from an education point of view and from a primary healthcare perspective. We need to do a far better job, and that is something we can do, I think, from an education point of view, from a primary healthcare point of view, to educate our public about the need to take care of ourselves, to exercise, to eat better, to drink less alcohol, to simply be more mobile. We sit too much. We are simply not active enough. We consume a lot of sugar, a lot of wheat, so it's a lot of those things we need to address from a primary healthcare perspective.
Right. So you heard it there from our beloved Prime Minister. And folks, it is clear the most honorable Deacon Mitchell understands the running of government and nearly all the different ministries. He is on top of things, and that is what you want in a leader. He understands education well, what is required, what are some of the strengths and weaknesses. He understands health well, what are some of the strengths and weaknesses, what are some of the things that need to be done, agriculture, infrastructure, the economy, just name it. He understands this thing well. And you're dealing with a very intelligent lawyer who has not lost a case. In other words, his track record will speak for himself, right? And really tell us the individual in depth. He's not going on these interviews with some prepared paper or statement or anything of that sort. No, no, no. I mean, I interviewed him, and his ability to comprehend and articulate the issues in a very simple way we all can understand. He's not shying away from any question or questions. And mind you, Callistra did a really good job with that particular interview. And if I tell you that, you know what I'm talking about. She did a really good job. And our beloved Prime Minister was able to respond and answer the questions and have that conversation with her so that the Grenadian people can understand a number of things. But I've said, look, I have no fear. The best communicator of what the government is doing is our beloved Prime Minister. He's the best in this business. That is why I feature him the most, because he is able to question, right? To take the questions, to answer the questions. He's able to speak to us in a very simple way about the issues and where the government is taking us and where we have to go as a nation. I must say this to you. Very, very good at speaking about what's going on here. Anytime there is some misinformation by the NNP, the best person to put them to sleep is the Prime Minister. Right? To clear it up is the Prime Minister. He's a good communicator, good orator. He has a good command of the English language. He's able to communicate in a very simple way. And that is why, those issues, anytime they pop up and he speaks, it's dead. Right? All those issues. And a gentleman was saying to me, Kem Jones, boy, the Prime Minister, right, and his government and the entire NDC have been able to cause any misinformation, any propaganda, any falsehood by the NNP to just die, right? When they respond, It's dead. All the misinformation that the NNP put out there, nothing is holding. Nothing is holding. You know, during the first NDC, when the NNP comes out and they say certain things, it was holding. So it will remain, it was remaining out there for a long time. But with this administration, it's not holding. No matter what they throw at the NDC, it's not holding. And it says something. It says, one, that the NDC is very popular out there, that the Prime Minister is very popular, and his team, people like the team, they want the team to succeed. And it says also that our people are thinking more. There's a higher level of consciousness. So the NNP cannot just throw something out there and people grab it and run with it. People are questioning things. So every time they come with some kind of misinformation, some kind of falsehood, it just doesn't stick. You remember the attack, my good friend and brother Andy Williams? That did not stick. They speak about the $150 poor relief. That did not stick. They go after Ron. That did not stick. They talk about the shortage of medication. That did not stick. They spoke about the CPEA, whatever. That did not stick. Workers, as they claim, are being fired. That did not stick. Every single thing. The US, the UK, SIF money, that did not stick. Nearly anything, right? Anything that they come out with, all the propaganda, they talk about cost of living and this and that did not stick. Nothing that they come with is sticking, right? It means that the Grenadian people are on top of things and they're not falling for the NNP falsehoods, misinformation, propaganda. They are not. So again, we have to keep it going. We have to continue on that path to educate our people, to share information, credible information, to put the facts on the table, because that is what ultimately would cause Grenadians to have more confidence in our government. We must put the facts on the table. All right? So I want to open up the line to give you a chance to speak, to free up this morning. The number is 415-4817, 415-4817. That's the number to call to get on the inside, right? So if you want to call in and have your say, you're free to do so. The number is 415-4817. All right, so you're free to talk about anything, huh? You're free to talk about anything in the next 20 minutes.
Hello, Grenadians in Canada and friends of Grenadians in Canada. This is a special invitation from me, Prime Minister of Grenada, inviting you to join me on the 1st of July 2023 at Bellevue Manor for a special evening, a grand gala. Accompanying me will be the Honorable Joseph Andal, MP for St. Patrick West and Minister for Foreign Affairs. The gala is in aim of raising
Good morning, Kim.
Good morning, how you doing?
Good morning to all the listeners. I just want to encourage all the NDCites to rally around the Prime Minister and his wonderful team. And I just want to pick them up. Let we pick them up. Let we love them up. You know?
That's important. Yeah, I fully agree. All right. I fully agree with that caller. We have to love them up. We have to big them up. We have to promote them. We have to push them. We have to defend them. I think that's very, very important. Very, very important. The caller is absolutely right. The number is 415-4817, 415-4817. I don't know if the caller completed everything that she has to say or had to say. All right. I don't know if you got cut off there. But very, very good point. Again, the number is 415-4817, 415-4817. It's an open line, giving you a chance to free up to talk about the issues.
Hello, Grenadians in Canada and friends of Grenadians in Canada. This is a special invitation from me, Prime Minister of Grenada, inviting you to join me on the 1st July 2023 at Bellevue Manor for a special evening, a grand gala. Accompanying me will be the Honorable Joseph Andal, MP for St. Patrick West and Minister for Foreign Affairs. The gala is in aim of raising funds to assist us in building a
Good morning, Keman. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Well, I see them and I listen in the program, and then I want to ask a question. I don't know if you're able to answer or if you go get some information about that. The TAMCC school, they say free education, and TAMCC now is asking for money for the children to pay up. And they say free education.
You talk.
I don't know how much you know about that.
Yeah, the tuition. Well, I think the Prime Minister addressed that. He spoke about that.
Yes, I heard he was saying that sometime last week. Because TAMCC is still asking for money.
All right. I think that has to be rectified because there are some people who are, them and their children or child, when they go to register and so on, TAMCC is still asking them for that cash. So that has to be, it has to be rectified. Either they refund them that money, because I remember you have some time back where he had people who paid, like for the secondary schools and so on, and the schools had to return or refund them that money. So I hope that could be ironed out even before people start going there and paying for this and paying for that. I agree with you.
You understand? Because you have children that are already there who go there first year. And they're asking for money right now, like they give a deadline date. And then those new ones want to pay again. I don't understand this double standard.
Yeah, they have to sort it out. Something not adding up, right?
You understand?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's hurtful in one form by saying something and some demanding money and those kind of things. I mean, this thing has to clear up.
Yeah, I agree. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
okay,
thank you.
Nice, man.
Yeah, that's a valuable contribution there.
Yeah, Kim, morning, Kim.
Good morning.
Kim.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Hello.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, you have to lower the volume of the radio. See? Switch off the radio. Hello? Right, you see? You have to switch off the radio and lower the volume because you're listening to me on the radio and not on the phone. So I am here talking to you on the phone, right? So you have to lower the volume on your radio and have a phone conversation with me. But that's a very valuable point that caller made there, because a number of people reached out to me on the same thing. I think it has to be rectified because TAMCC has to be on the same page as government. If the government gives a directive that it's free access, so all the registration fee and all the this and that needs to be ironed out, right? So yes, we know they would have to pay for their courses and different things there, but to enter the college, that is free. So we heard it from the Prime Minister, we heard it from the Minister of Education. So that has to be sorted, because you don't want students to be going there and thinking that it's all free, and then they're told you have to pay this, you have to pay that, you have to pay this, you have to pay that. All right? That's important. Again, the number is 415-4817, 415-4817. That's the number to call to get on the inside. 415-4817. 4817. All right. The St. Joseph's Convent Grenville alumni, they present the platinum masquerade ball. All right. I'll tell you about that in a while. Let me just take that call. All right. Good morning.
Morning, Kim.
Good morning.
Listen, pay attention. You understand what's going on. The NNP breaking up, they're getting weaker. Listen, I watched Calistria with the PM. Oh my goodness. She leaning over, but she leaning over slowly. The Prime Minister beat her down, and she handled it nice. She was graceful. Listen, in 2 years, she's NDC. Thanks for what you do, Kim.
All right. Thank you very much there, caller. Thank you very much there. Indeed, Calistro will forever be independent of NNP and NDC. I know her very well. All right. She handled, as you rightly said, she handled that interview really good. And I commend her on that. All right. But our beloved Prime Minister is a boss when it comes to these interviews and so on. Yes. So the St. Joseph's Convent Grenville alumni, they have this platinum masquerade ball, and they're inviting all to be a part of that. The 5th of August, DJ Small Clothes, entry $50, door open at 9 p.m., dress code elegantly formal, venue the St. Joseph's Convent main hall. All right, that's Grenville. Huh? Let's take that call. Good morning.
Kim.
Good morning.
Yeah, Kim.
Hey,
what you said is truth, Anything Diablo and his angels put out there, he can't stick.
Yeah.
Can't stick it out. What you saying is true. Can't stick.
All right.
Diablo ain't never coming back in this thing, man. He never coming back. Take my word for it.
All right. Plenty love.
All right.
Yeah. So as I said earlier, it just can't stick. It's not able to stick on the NDC because the NDC has been operating truthfully, right? Truthfully so from day one with our people. And that's good. Honesty, transparency, good governance, consulting, engaging the people. Good morning. Good morning, Kola.
Good morning, Ken June, my brethren. How are you, my brethren?
I'm good, and you?
Yeah, man, brethren, man. Heaven help us all, man. I big up yourself and big up my party, man. You know what I mean?
All right.
Yes, my brethren. A good while I have been called, but I've been listening you, man, and I called today and say, man, I want to big up my party, man. They are doing a very good job, my brethren, so far. So good, man.
All
because
right.
if it wasn't that party, wouldn't be there, man. You'd have a little melee in and between, man.
All
I feel
right.
the station might have been shut down, you know what I mean?
Plenty
So
love.
apparently, man, I want to big up my party and big up yourself and everything going good so far, my brethren.
All
So
right.
we'll keep in touch.
One love. Yes, and that's important. People want that. They want stability. They want peace. They want tranquility. They want prosperity. That is what people wanted. Before time, it was always about some melee, some bacchanal, some controversy, some confrontation, some kind of TB with the previous administration. But we have peace in this land. We have a government who understands the needs of the people and working towards achieving that. Right? I want to wish the Honorable Delma Thomas happy birthday. Today, I understand, is your birthday. Happy birthday to you, and I wish you all the best. You're just a darling. Again, folks, the number is 415 4817 415 4817. That's the number to call. So again, the St. Joseph's Convent Grenville alumni. It's a really good group of people. They're having this platinum masquerade ball. So they're having a ball at the school, and it's $50 to enter. $50. Those open at 9 p.m. That's on August the 5th. August the 5th is not far from now. Huh? I remember my event is on the 3rd, and it's not far from now. So August the 5th is soon, soon. DJ Small Clothes. I haven't heard about DJ Small Clothes in a while. So that's really good that they're bringing DJ Small Clothes, entry $50. Those open at 9 p.m. Dress code elegantly formal. And the venue again, St. Joseph's Convent, Grenville Main Hall, because they're celebrating 70 years as a school, right? Providing, or they've provided the community, the parish, Grenada on a whole, with great men and women who got their education from that institution. All right? Nice. So we wish them all the best. And from time to time, I will tell you about that because I believe it's a good gesture. Very, very good gesture. Very good activity there. Again, the number is 415 4817. 415 4817. And we still have some time left. All right. I think there's a bingo. Let me look at Frances. I think she sent me something. All right. So the Deacon Mitchell support group, they're having a bingo on Saturday, July the 8th, starting at 6 p.m. Cost $20. Jackpot $1,000, and that's US. Huh? That's US, and it will be at St. Paul's Church Auditorium. St. Paul's Church Auditorium, 157 St. Paul's Place, corner of Church Avenue. All right. So for tickets, call Francis on 917 282 9405. Call Akim. Call Akim on 347 925 1625. All right. Let's take that call here. Good.
Yeah,
Good.
brother Kim, brother Kim.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Yeah, good morning, not bad at all.
All right.
Well, I want to say well done by the NDC, and I mean, so far, I mean, NDC will always kill NMP with classy levels because NMP never had no levels. They was running head or tail. Right, no classy levels. Can't stay under a bushel. They had to be in the light, and they had to face the light. You know, so far, NDC will always be on top of the game, top of things.
All right. Plenty
So,
of.
you know, so far, well done, and we'll prolong it because it's good vibes. Good vibes galore.
All right.
More than good vibes. We pass good vibes. Right now, we the good vibes galore in green, and we have to keep it so.
All right. Plenty love. Great.
Ever vibes. All the best for everyone, and good day. Bless up.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah, one love.
Wonderful. Yeah. So again, so that bingo. So if you want to be a part of that bingo, you could call my partner Akim on 347 925 1625. Frances 917 282 9405. You can call the number of them: Jillian, Kenisha, Janice, Beverly. It's a good list. So what I will do, I would put up the flyer so you can be a part of that bingo out there in New York. All right, so that's the Deacon Mitchell support group. They have that there. All right, coming up on the 8th. That's not far from today, because today is what? The 27th? 27th. So that would be next week, Saturday. Yeah? That'll be next week, Saturday. Nice. So we still have about 3 minutes left in the program for this morning. Still have some time left. And folks, if you want to support this program financially, all you need to do is to send me a WhatsApp message to keep the program going, to pay the bills and so on. Send me a WhatsApp message on the same number, 415-4817. That's 1473-415-4817. Or you can actually just go in the Grenada Cooperative Bank, the Grenada Cooperative Bank. And these days, you don't even have to go because you have e-banking where you can transfer money to anybody, right? Once they have a core bank account, and all you need is my body ID, right? All you need is my ID, the ID to send, and within no time you can transfer from account to account. So the account number is 113000516. Right? So that's the account number there, 113000516. And the name of the account is Vision Information Services. Vision Information Services, 113000516. So you can actually transfer, funds from your account to this account for the program, right? Pledge something, give something towards it. It's not hard to do that. So all you need to do is do. And if you have an account, they're even better yet. So if you're going into the bank, the Grenada Cooperative Bank, you can easily put something there. If you want to use a Riser Credit Union, I can give you the information for that account too, the Riser Credit Union. So it's not hard. It's not hard at all. So, folks, I want to thank you, all those who called. I want to encourage you to keep the faith, be a part of those different programs that are positive, that are uplifting, because we want good for Grenada. You would have a lot of programs out there. Well, we have that, plenty of programs in Grenada, talking bad about the government, right? Trying to sabotage, trying to misinform, and all kinds of stuff. But we have to keep positive, continue to promote the party, promote the government, defend the party, defend the government. We have to do that. All right? So, folks, I want to wish you all the best. Take good care. And bye for now. We have to pull the curtain down at this point in time. So, bye for now. Take good care.
The proceeding was a paid program. The views expressed on this program are those of